Dați-mi voie în continuare să dau cuvântul domnului Wilhelm Brauneder, profesor la Facultatea de Drept a Universității din Viena.
Spectabilis, thank you so much for the invitation to such a nice conference. Spectabilis, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, let me start with an example. The most famous jurist of Vienna in the early modern times came to Vienna from Saxony. Prior to that, he did his law studies at several universities in Upper Italy. His family stemmed from Switzerland, and after Vienna, he moved to another European town, at a university town. Such careers, that is what I want to point out, crossing Europe, so to say, from north to south, from east to west, or vice versa, were very common in the early modern time till, let me say, roughly the year of 1800. And it was possible because all over Europe the curriculum of the legal education followed more or less the same system. It's based on focusing on training of legal thinking in regard of civil law in the continental sense, made by the glosators and the commentators, and it was not stretched too much into details, and it was not encompassing the whole legal system from, let me say, one state or one territory. And this legal education enabled the students and the jurists to get familiar with the local laws in different European countries, even if they had been foreigners to these countries. Now, this changed very much around the year 1800. As you know, the great codifications get enforced, like the Austrian Civil Code, for example, or the Code Civil. And now, I would say, the legal systems in Europe were nationalized. They were now bound to the boundaries of the respective states. That means that also legal education was nationalized in that sense. For example, with an Austrian law degree, you couldn't be employed anymore in Prussia or whatever in Bavaria, and also not vice versa. Nevertheless, during the 19th century, subjects like philosophy of law, history of law, and Roman law, civil law in the English translation, were of course taught at the universities. And I want to give you another example. Not taught at universities for a long time has been administrative law instead of administrative law. Legal scholars had to listen to administrative science, and administrative science was not so much bound to the respective states. But, however, these basic subjects, to style them with a modern expression, I'm not so sure if they're really basics, they're much more, I think, than basic subjects, diminished in Austria, in Germany, in Switzerland, and other European states during the last decades, very, very heavily. To give also one example, history of law came down at the University of Vienna from 14 hours 1 week to only 4 hours 1 week. But in contrary to that, new fields of law were not only taught now, also when I'm thinking of my law studies, we have now at Vienna Law Faculty a lot of very new subjects, not only taught, but they are compulsory and followed by examinations. So sometimes I'm thinking that the English expression for a law faculty, namely law school, translated in German, it would mean Rechtsschule, fits much more for law faculties than the old term law faculty, which indicates sciences of law.